No foul play? It's muffled. Great. Hang on. Can you hear me? Better? There we go. All right. Ooh, we're gonna do the mic check. Oh, you know what? It happens every time. Monica, you can't hear me? Well, Monica, you can't hear me because you shut the whole thing down. You can't hear me again. Great. Any better? Any better now? No, my audio's on. I'm not in a fishbowl. Is it any better now? Okay, some people say no and some people say yes. Lisa says yes. Preschool Granny says yes. Rexy says sounds like it. Hey, Connie, can you hear me, Connie? It's in and out. Let's try this. Can you hear me now? It's like I'm talking through a tube, talking through YouTube. Ugh. Jules says in and out. All right, let me try something. Okay, is it better now? Because I got totally out of the studio and came back. Hello, Raylaw. Mama K says it's faint. Rexy says yes. Connie says yes. Yeah, Nature Babe, I unplugged it and I plugged it back in, so I got out of the studio and came back in. Like I said, if somebody doesn't grab the link and give me a mic check before, well, you know, because you're experiencing it right now. Okay, Pat says we're good. All right, we're going to go back to what I was doing. Jeanette just says you sound like you're in a fishbowl. Well, we're just going to have to hope it works itself out. That's all I can say. Till I get a new microphone, that's all I got for you guys. Absolutely crazy. So, welcome back, as I was saying. Welcome back. So if you guys were here for the last show, great show. I didn't mean for it to go over 3 hours. Sometimes it happens. That was kind of brutal on me. If Billy's in here, Billy, my name is not Brittany. Billy was talking so much, she didn't even know that I was saying my name's not Brittany. But that's okay. I'll be Brittany any day. I follow her on Instagram. It was a great show. Great show. We got another great show. I'll put the link up if anybody wants to discuss with me. Quinton Simons. He is missing out of Savannah, Georgia. I posted a video on the channel this morning at like 5:30 a.m. It was an update from the chief of police, I believe. I think he should have been updated a little better, but that's just me. They say that Quenton, as of right now, there's no evidence of foul play. Well, I think as we go through this, you're going to find a lot of red flags, my friends, because I'm already finding a bunch. I'm already finding a bunch. So I'm going to go through some comments from after the video I put up this morning. Hang with me. Brittany is on it. All right. Jakey5 said, if it was my home, I would say, get in, search my house, no warrant needed. Now, this was in response to the chief police officer saying that they have put out warrants and they're waiting to get them back. I agree. Get to the bottom of it. Clear me. Get me off the table. And that way you can get to finding my child. Not that they can't do things simultaneously, but you get it. So here's the thing. When a child goes missing, of course, you're going to wonder, where was mom? Where was dad? Where was side piece? Where was the babysitter? Whoever is around the child, you say, where were they? This is a little concerning. The morning of, from what I'm hearing, side piece, the boyfriend, says Quenton is missing. But mom doesn't call 911 until a little after 9 a.m. Now, remember, this is a new case. So if any of this is wrong, please tell me because we want the right information. Before calling 911 or before she realizes that Quenton is missing, from what I'm understanding, she calls off the babysitter being there. We're going to hear from the babysitter. She's not going to come on panel. We're going to play a news clip. You're probably going to hear it a lot covering this case. I feel really bad for the babysitter. Really bad for the babysitter. I got to catch up the chat real quick. Yeah, I'm not buying it. It says, why did they put the officer on mic? He knew nothing. I was getting a little frustrated with that conference too. We're spoiled though, because after watching the Debbie Collier press conference, those dudes had it down. They were answering stuff no one asked them. They weren't even skating around questions about Money Mandy. They were all over it. It's like they were reading our minds. We're not getting that from this case, but that's okay. I have a feeling that guy's going to catch up because he seemed a little off guard by what he was being asked. Okay. Diane says, I'm getting bad vibes about little Quenton. I get the feeling his mom and dad are like Wells 2.0. I'm not really gonna step that far yet, but just remember that this is boyfriend. This is not dad. They've already gotten in contact with dad. Dad wasn't anywhere around. Jakey5 goes on to say, so the mother didn't wake up until 9:45 a.m. when she has a little baby to look after. I found that suspicious too. She doesn't just have little Quenton to take care of. It's very concerning. Crafty one said, where did the boyfriend go at 6 a.m.? I don't know. East Coast Mama, she smells what I'm stepping in. She says, how do you call the babysitter and tell her to stay home, then ask her where he is? You tell the babysitter not to show up, then you call and ask where your child is. It's given me some Casey Anthony vibes. The babysitter has Kaylee. Were you going to tell the police that you think the babysitter has Quenton? I don't know. I don't know. Got a lot going on with mom. She got evicted. Had a child support case that I guess she didn't do well with. Oh, AG. AG's already on it. Nothing makes sense. There'll be an arrest soon, and it's probably mom and boyfriend. Yeah. So it's all over Twitter. We're going to cover it here as well. Of course, first and foremost, we want little Quenton found. I don't think mom and boyfriend are pounding the pavement looking for Quenton, though. They have been sighted fighting in their backyard. The neighbors can hear I'm assuming it's those two, that it's their asses that are in the house, that they're in there fighting. Barb says, does Grandpa Thomas live in the same house? I don't know. I also want to understand the living arrangements. Now, Leilani, I hope I'm saying her name right, doesn't really matter. Does she live with her mom? Her mom is Billy. I was told Billy had custody of the children. But obviously it's Leilani that was with them, or she wouldn't have known very, very late that Quenton was missing. Does anybody know for sure the living arrangements? Because I was sent this, or this might be in the room in Discord. This is off Twitter. Brett Buffington with WSAV. Court documents uncovered by the News 3 investigative unit show that last month, Leilani Simon, Quenton's mom, told police she was on probation. Leilani, her boyfriend, and kids were served with an eviction notice. Her mother said no one was living in peace. I imagine Leilani's mom has had a go of it. You know, we have spoken a lot about the relationship between Debbie Collier and her daughter. This might be a little similar. Imagine grandma when she finds out her grandbaby's missing. Sluggish Sleuth, thank you, says grandma has custody of the two oldest boys. And grandma doesn't live in Illinois. Grandma was working there. See, grandma has something called a JOB on top of raising grandchildren. Does anybody know if Leilani is gainfully employed? Well, hello, where's Summer 800 TBI Find? Where have you been? We've missed you, girlfriend. Hannah Shockey said she's a pathological liar. I've read that. I read that on Twitter. She did. She just had a baby girl in July. I saw that on her Facebook. I did. Hannah, do you know Leilani, or are you just assuming she's a pathological liar? Because I've heard it said by others. Unsolved Barb says, Billy says she doesn't trust her daughter, so why did she leave the kids in her daughter's care? Yeah, I have read that too. It was actually a discussion, I think, in Discord this morning. By the way, if you're in Discord, we have a room for Quenton, plus also case discussion, well, on here and in the Crime Lines and Lies Facebook group. Hannah, do you feel comfortable to grab the link? You might be able to fill in some of these gaps for us. Quenton is 20 months old. Neighbors have spotted him wandering around by himself. The neighbors have spotted a little 20-month-old baby wandering around by himself. Yep, wandered off, Pat. Grab the link, Hannah. You would be of great help to us. ICI Dive said Grandma had to be given custody of the older kids, which would follow suit with the younger kids. She has to do something in order to have them taken away for Grandma to be able to take them. And that's the unfortunate thing. It's not a one-size-fits-all type of thing, believe it or not. Yeah, the waking up at 9 a.m. really does me in. This actually gave me chills. It was noted that trash pickup was at 7 a.m. There you can see a gentleman in gloves going through the trash. Going through the trash. Twitter, Brett Buffington again. Quinton Simons' grandfather is talking about his missing grandson only to News 3. That's because he hasn't found us yet. We'd be glad to talk to Grandpa. He thanked the people who came to help search, but says nothing here adds up. Nothing adds up. I agree. Let me see if I can get Hannah to connect. Hannah.
Hey, this is my girlfriend's account. My name's Jaden.
Well, hi, Jaden. What a surprise. We thought we were talking to a Hannah.
No, my hand is right here.
Okay, that's fine. Everybody, welcome, Jaden. Now, I don't want to ask you really any personal questions, but the matter at hand, obviously, is Quenton is missing. So how you know these people really isn't of any concern. But what can you tell us? Because all the red flags are pointing straight to Leilani.
So, my personal take on it is I don't think she hurt the kid, but I used to babysit her oldest Zane all the time. She was pretty neglectful of him.
Well, now, hold on. How old is Zane? You're going to have to go real slow with this. This is the first time we've talked about this case. So Zane is how old?
Zane is the oldest out of the three kids. I think he's about 2. He was born January something 2019. That's about yeah.
So he's coming on 3 years old. Quentin's coming on 2 years old. Do they have the same father?
No, 3 different baby daddies.
Okay.
3 completely different.
It was really cute how you said my Hannah is right here, by the way. So we're not, from what I understand, the police do not think that there's an abduction. They've already said there's no Amber Alert because there's no abduction.
Well, it said the FBI was out there because there could be a possible abduction, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, the FBI is going to get involved anytime a child's missing, period. Well, the card unit's going to find out if there was an abduction.
Yeah, I actually spoke with a detective earlier today because
Hello? Jaden?
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. It cut out for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, so you babysat for Zane. When did you stop babysitting for Zane?
I'd say about after the time. So she had went to go to BioLife, which is a place around here you can donate plasma for money. And
so plasma, is that her job?
No. I don't know. She's very. I don't know. I think she might have had a job, but apparently the babysitter goes there even when she's not working.
I understand that. I heard that.
Yeah. So I'm not sure, but I'm not sure if she had a job at all. All I know is that the last time I babysat that baby was about a year and a half ago. I stopped babysitting that baby when she left me there, and she said she was going to pay me, and she didn't leave me with no baby wipes. And she never told me to use she wanted me to use wet paper towels, but she never told me to use it. But she was claiming stuff, but it was just a lot. It's hard to think back on. She's just very neglectful and doesn't take care of her child right. So then, yeah, that day Zane sat with a dirty diaper, and then her best friend came to the house I was babysitting Zane at, which was her boyfriend's house, and found out that he had a rash, and we had to go and get wet paper towels and just a bunch of shit.
Do you know? Okay, so now Zane is with his grandmother now.
Yes.
So obviously, Child Protective Services had to get involved because she doesn't even have wet wipes around.
Yeah, and most likely, I think Zane, I believe, when the reason that she has the grandma has custody of all three kids.
Uh-oh, Jaden cut out again. By the way, Quentin's biological father he's not a suspect. He wasn't anywhere in the area.
They actually, have you heard this, that they didn't know who Quentin's biological father was? They had to do a DNA test or something?
I did. I saw that in the child support paperwork.
Yeah, we actually think we know who me and my friends have been communicating. We actually think we know who it is.
Well, then who is this person that they ruled out? Is she saying that?
Because, yeah, if this is the person, he definitely had nothing to do with it.
Why?
He has his own kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He has his own kids. He don't have nothing to do with her, probably for not like 2 years.
But do you think it's someone that she's just saying this is Quentin's father, but he's not? Because they did come out and say, law enforcement said that the father he wasn't anywhere around. They're not worried about him.
Yeah, he's really not. Because there's two possible people. There's only two possible people that it could be.
To be Quentin's father?
Yes. And
but I mean, but it doesn't look like they're hot on the heels for Leilani and wanting to get to know their son, so they wouldn't come and just grab him.
Yeah.
Somebody in the house between boyfriend and mom would have to know that they grabbed Quentin. What do you make? Okay, so you're going to know this way more than me. All right, does grandma have custody of Quentin or not?
Grandma has custody of Quentin. Grandma has custody of all three.
Oh, even the baby that was just born?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Leilani is on drugs, and I'm pretty sure she might have got involved with the defects case. My phone keeps locking. Let me put my phone on the charger. When it locks, I cut out.
That's okay.
Okay. What last thing did you hear?
Your phone. You said you had to put your phone on the charger. All right. So Grandma Billy, right?
Yes.
Billy has custody of all the children because Leilani's on drugs.
Yes.
Is this a known fact, or you just think she's on drugs?
This is a known fact.
That's what I'm getting from all the Facebook comments and everything. So what? Okay, so hang on. Do you know? And if you don't know, don't say. What was Quentin doing with his mother then? Was it like visitation? Hello, Jaden?
Can you hear me now? I'm sorry. That keeps happening.
No, you're okay. Don't worry about it.
They all live together.
Okay, that's why I was asking. I heard they lived together. Then I heard that she got evicted. But then I heard that the eviction notice was from her own mother. I want to get all this straight because there's a lot going on.
Yeah, Grandma ain't pitch perfect either, but she cares. I don't know what I could say.
Grandma evicted her last month.
Yes.
But she's still at the house.
Yes. I just read that they just gave her the eviction like a couple of days ago. Or today, actually. Not today, maybe yesterday.
They all live in the same house. All right, so this is what we had from Twitter. Court documents uncovered by News 3 show last month, September. Leilani Simon, Quentin's mom, told police she was on probation. Leilani, her boyfriend, and kids were served with an eviction notice. Now, Grandma's not trying to evict the kids. Her mother said no one was living in peace. Now it makes sense. She doesn't have any peace because she wants them out, the adults out, not the kids.
I was talking to ex-boyfriend of Leilani, and apparently Leilani actually be beating on homeboy, her boyfriend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, be beating on him.
What's she beating him for?
I don't know. I really don't know. It could be mutual. It could be just her, but she used to beat on ex-boyfriend too. I won't get into it, but I was just sleeping over at my homeboy's house one day, and she busted in, hitting on him in the morning.
Just when he was asleep, she just came in and started beating on him?
Yep.
What the hell?
Yep.
So now this is boyfriend. Is the baby that she had in July, is this boyfriend's baby?
This is a boyfriend she's with now's baby. Yeah.
Okay, so because on Facebook her name is Leilani Youngkin.
Yeah.
All right, and that's his name. What's his first name? I forgot.
I think it's Daniel.
Daniel Youngkin. Okay, good. That's what I had written down. Is he a rapper? Because I saw that he updated his YouTube the same day that Quenton went missing. Or does he play one on YouTube?
He might be a rapper. I'm not sure of who he is. I only know about her first baby daddy.
Okay. Now, how do you know her, period? Like, did you go to high school with her? Do you live around each other or not together?
Well, where I used to live at in Savannah, my friends out there, he's not my best friend, he's like my brother. I met her through him because they used to date. That's pretty much it. And we knew each other for about almost a year, and then they broke up and she stopped coming around. And when they broke up, it was just a lot of crazy stuff. Like, I'll tell you right now, I've seen like firsthand the abuse she puts that child through.
Zane or Quenton?
Quenton was never around when we were friends. That was about 2 years ago, yeah, year and a half ago. This is why I'm saying, like, this baby is. She tried to use this. She manipulated with this baby when the baby was in the womb. She tried to tell ex-boyfriend, my friend, my brother, that was his baby. Try to manipulate him, knowing damn well that isn't his baby. So this baby's had it hard even since the womb.
Wow. Where is Leilani now?
She's home.
And her mom's there too, right?
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that CPS or the police didn't make her leave the house.
You see where they said they had they searched another property they owned?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's she used to rent that trailer from her parents. There was a trailer over there right next to the house, like a couple of ways down the road. Yeah, it's a trailer they had to break into. I guess they evicted her out of that trailer too because she wasn't paying on it. We used to hang out there all the time, bonfires, whatever. So it's a common occurrence with her, it seems like.
Okay, so we have drugs and domestic violence. Obviously, grandma knows what's up because she evicted her, yet she's still there. It's almost impossible, even when it's your own home, to get rid of someone. Believe it or not, this could take 6 months to get her out of there. Okay, so her and Daniel are still at the house.
Yes. That's
okay.
super correct.
Now, you said you saw firsthand the abuse that she put Zane through. Now, what was the timeline for grandma getting custody of Zane, and where was Leilani living at the time?
I'm not sure about the custody of Zane. I just know that she had Zane on and off. She'd have Zane for like 2 weeks, and then like for like 3 weeks she wouldn't have Zane, and he'd be with her mom. I was never sure about the custody thing. She might have got DFACS involved and ended up losing custody of her kids after we stopped being friends. But she's always had her mom watch Zane. That's all I know is like for weeks at a time. So basically custody.
Okay. Now, when you told her, I'm not watching Zane anymore, you don't even have wet wipes here, he's got a rash, you're not paying me. Now, also, you said something, and I don't know if I misheard. Did she like not come back or something? Was she supposed to be back at a certain time and she just left you there? Or
oh, dude, yeah, they were supposed to be back. So, yeah, they were gone for like 3 or 4 hours, and I was not expecting it. Yeah, it was a long time. Didn't pay me for none of it. Gave me about like 4 or 5 cigarettes. Yeah, been crazy.
Do you know about this? Rita said, Chatham County incident report last month. Quenton's uncle. Do you know Quenton's uncle? I understand that there's a brother in jail. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, he went there for slaughtering somebody.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I think he went there for murder. That's what I heard, or what I know of. I don't know much about that. He was never really around. I know of him. I don't know him personally.
Okay. And so he's been in jail since like 2013. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe so. He's in there for murder.
Yeah, he's not getting out.
Mm-mm.
Goodness. Okay, so wow. All right, so brother's in jail for murder. Leilani's got a slew of problems, and now little Quenton is missing.
That is correct. It's a lot. I wouldn't expect her to hurt the child, but I definitely expect her to freak out if that child did something to itself and not want to take blame for it. Because okay, trash pickup day was the day that they got reported. Quentin was reported missing. But I mean, that would just to me that just lines up too perfect. So, and if the grandparents were out of town, maybe something happened to Quentin the day before.
Yeah, because I did read that Billy was in Illinois for work. I don't. Was Grandpa with her?
Grandpa, I don't know what Grandpa was doing. I think Grandpa travels a lot too,
Mm-hmm.
but he wasn't there. They were always out of town. When they had a house on that road that I don't think that's the same house. The same house that this all happened at. I don't think it's the same house they had. They had another house there. It was just a house that sat there because they were always gone.
My God, my God. I did see an article where Grandma said that her mind is going a million different places, and it did occur to her that her own daughter could have done something to Quenton.
Yeah. No, there is a pool in the backyard, but I still don't think that child can open the doors. And even so, I don't think the oldest would have been able to open the door for the child, nor open the door for Quentin at all. So,
I think Grandpa said Quenton can't even open doors. But
yeah,
now some neighbors, there was a neighbor that gave an interview. We'll watch it later. That said that she wouldn't be on camera, but you could tell she was very upset, and she said she's seen him wandering around before, like outside of the house.
Yeah, I know, and I wish they still lived in that old house because their old house had cameras all around it, but there's no cameras at this house, and I'm just wondering what's going on because they used to have cameras,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's crazy.
Well, when you do what?
I definitely don't think that she hurt the kid, but I definitely do think that something happened to her, to the kid, and
Well, what about boyfriend? Do you know him very well? I mean, we're not accusing anybody of anything here. We're having a conversation.
yeah,
ICI Dive said he woke up and he was too tired to deal, overreacted, and something happened. She said, let's go to the landfill. I mean, called 911, about 2 hours after the trash picked up.
huh? No, I do not know the boyfriend personally. I do not.
I mean, not to tell tales out of school, have you heard anything about him?
I have not heard anything. I know he's on drugs too. I know
Hmm.
that. That's about it. I know he's on drugs too, and I know that they argue all the time and they fight and they tear her grandma's house up. That's all I know is that they're mutually. It's a mutual domestic violence going on.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, Nature Babe has a question. Do they even have a vehicle? How do these two get around?
Yeah, they have a. I think she might still have her same white truck. It was a Ford, little F-150, single cab. They do get around because I was talking to my friend about it earlier. How my friend knows the plate. How they. She always hits my friend up because he knows where to go to get the drugs. My friend doesn't do the drugs, but he knows where to go and get them. So they pick him up.
Do you know what kind of drugs Leilani and Daniel are into? Because, some people are speculating that maybe little Quenton got up and he got into their drugs.
Yeah, that's what. Well, one I think the one who's been in contact with her the most is saying cocaine, but one says dope, which is meth. But um, yeah, it probably might be both to be honest with you, coke and meth. But the cocaine around Savannah right now is just it's laced with fentanyl as well, so that if little Quenton did get into that coke, a little bit, you would have been in the ER with a DPAX case on you, but you get a little bit of fentanyl on that little Quenton, yeah, it's not working out good.
Now, where do these two non-employed individuals get money for their habit? Are they stealing?
Yeah,
I mean,
they do a lot. They probably do a lot. They used to back in the day. We never had money. None of us had jobs, but for some reason they always had a gram of weed, or they always had a way to get some gas money. They always had something. I don't know how.
well, now Leilani, she's on probation. Is it for not? Was it? I heard robbery, but I mean stealing from somebody, obviously.
Probably stealing. Most likely stealing. If not stealing, maybe something to do with the drug use. Maybe the reason why she doesn't have custody of her kids.
Mm-hmm.
Could be due to that.
ICI Dive said, hustler's gonna hustle. Well, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
your stuff, you need your stuff. Most concerning, though, is where is Quenton?
Exactly.
Where is little Quenton? How far away can a 20-month-old get?
That's the thing I've been wondering about. No, the dogs, like the dogs didn't smell nothing. They don't see nothing with the thermal. Like, what happened? Is it kind of like that one case where the kid was actually just in the basement, but they searched through the whole entire house and didn't find Quenton? Like, it's just crazy.
Well, the case you're referring to is Summer Wells, and I don't think she was ever in the basement.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. Like, how far could you have gotten with your kid? Like, what did you do with him? And they were even taking pictures inside the trash can, and it doesn't seem like they found anything.
Mm-hmm. Well, and also we have a time gap. Supposedly Daniel gets up, can't find Quenton. Then she calls after 9 o'clock to report Quenton missing. I'm really not sure what spurred that, but they had already told the babysitter that morning before these discoveries to not come babysit. The babysitter said, even if they aren't working, in quotes, because I don't know what the hell they do, that she would still go babysit.
Yeah. Because the grandma don't trust them. They do drugs. That's the whole entire reason. Like, that's how. Even when we were hanging around, be like, "Oh, can you go watch Zane in there for about an hour? This or that." And let me tell you another thing that I forgot to mention. So when the baby gets fussy, okay, let me tell you, Zane was a really, really like chubby kid, like above like in the like 21st percentile, like as a baby. Like, the baby gets fussy, feed that baby as much as she would feed that baby as much as she could, or if she's trying to go to sleep, she would load that baby up with NyQuil. So I was also thinking that what if she gave that baby too much medicine?
Like, do you know what kind of medicine?
NyQuil.
NyQuil? You mean like Benadryl or like real NyQuil?
It's straight up NyQuil. That's what they used to do to Zane. Or she used to do to Zane.
Oh. NyQuil knocks me out. And I'm 130 pounds.
Yeah. I know. It's a strong thing for a baby.
Don't you find it a little odd? Well, I know you do. I'm not asking it like that. Good God. That the day the babysitter doesn't come to watch the kids, which the babysitter watches the kids whether, the parents have anything to do or not, is the day that Quenton goes missing and can't be found.
And they texted her so early up in the morning. It's just like they had it all planned out.
All right, to get everybody up to speed, we're going to listen to the babysitter's interview. Don't go anywhere, okay, Jaden?
All right, I'm going to turn my microphone off.
Okay.
How this morning played out with this family and the babysitter who was originally supposed to be at this home this morning. News 3 Brian Gallagher also here with me at this scene tonight with those details.
Thank you, Brett. Earlier tonight, I talked with the toddler's babysitter. She is sharing her concerns tonight. It's an interview you will only see on WSAV News 3.
I am been keeping Quenton and Zane for 6 months. I kept them yesterday, and they went home last night.
Diana McCarta says she babysits little Quenton and his siblings and was supposed to watch them this morning. She says she was confused as to why plans would change so suddenly.
I got a text this morning saying that they would not be here. I would not be babysitting them at 5:29, which was kind of odd because I have them even when she doesn't work.
30 minutes later, 6 a.m. was the last reported sighting of Quenton, according to police. Diana says other family members asked her where Quenton might be.
And then I get a text at 9 o'clock saying, have I seen Quenton? I immediately go to their house. I try to help them look. They didn't want that. So I've just been waiting around like everybody else.
Diana and other neighbors are shocked by the news and wonder what could have happened to little Quenton.
My heart is broken. I'm not his mother, I'm not his family, but I love him very much. And I just don't know what could happen. The police did a really good job of looking. And where does a 1-year-old go? They've covered a lot of ground.
Again, we will continue to update you with the latest developments online and tomorrow on WSAV News 3 today. In Chatham County, Brian Gallagher, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Brian, Brett, thank you for your report tonight, team coverage. Now, if you want...
Wow. You there, Jaden?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay. All right. So the babysitter is very, very upset. So she tells her, I don't know if these two are spun up or what. Don't come babysit, and then calls her and asks her if she's Queenie. How far away does the babysitter live?
Probably not that far, to be honest with you.
Okay, so she's thinking that maybe
Same neighborhood, to be honest with you.
Okay, so she's maybe thinking that Quenton was wandering around the neighborhood and maybe the babysitter saw him.
Yeah.
If she checked with any other neighbors. Now, she posts frequently on Facebook, but she hasn't posted about Quenton being missing.
Mm-mm. Well, also, the cops have her phone.
No.
Or are you talking about someone different?
No, I'm talking about Leilani. Before the cops got her phone, she didn't put anything on Facebook.
Yeah.
She was looking for her child. But he's a frequent poster before that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Most likely because she was in the middle of
Sorry, what's that? You cut out, hun. Are you there, Jaden? Maybe Jaden will reconnect. So the other kids need to be in safety as soon as possible. They do. I'm not picking on grandma here. I'm sure she's got her hands full. Those kids do not need to be anywhere around Leilani or the boyfriend. I know that nobody wants kids in foster care, but this is where we're at. This is where we're at. By the way, we have a lot of new names in here. We're going to continue covering this case and many others. So please hit the sub button. Hit the sub button. All right, Jaden, until he gets back on. Stacy, that is a friend or former friend of Leilani. Leilani is Quentin's mother. You know, I don't think grandma believed that this would happen, but we know what happens when we don't think something's going to happen. ICI, do you want to grab the link? I saw a post of grandma's today and she said, we are not okay. I bet she is coming unglued. Not to mention, after what Jaden just told us, they're still in the house with grandma. At some point, the police, as they start sizing this up, they're going to have to go to Leilani and Daniel and say, you've got to get out of here. You can't be around the kids. If you don't leave, the state's going to take the kids. That's what's going to happen. So she had no right to tell the babysitter not to be there anyway. I can tell you why she had no right, because she's not the one paying the babysitter. Grandma had that set up because she doesn't trust them. Babysitter wasn't just there to watch the kids. Babysitter was probably there to also keep an eye on Leilani and Daniel. This is not the first time I have heard of parents, what they're going through to remove their own adult children. If they're getting mail there, it's an act of Congress to get them out of the house. It's crazy. I'm with you, Where's Summer? No, ma'am, no, ma'am, no, ma'am. Oh, Mama Kay says, I bet DHS pays the sitter. Yeah, Leo, I'm really worried too. This is not good. This is not good. All right, so our latest update now on the channel this morning, if you guys want to watch it again, we can. It's the chief of police. I was, I'm going to sound like Sammy Smith here. I was underwhelmed. He didn't really have a lot of information, and when he was asked, I say he's the chief of police, he may not be. When he was asked certain things, he would say he's not up to date on that. He doesn't know. He doesn't want to be in his investigators' faces every 2 seconds, that type of thing. He didn't really seem to be up on the case. It'd be like me having a press conference right now. It's like, look, I'm just learning about this. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. And there was a lot going on in the backyard because, as we heard from Jaden, Leilani is a very violent and abusive person. She beats up on the boyfriends, tells men that they're the father of her children when they're not. Leilani's got a lot going on. She has got a lot going on. Hold on 1 second. That's not the one. All right, so this is one of the most recent updates.
Chatham County toddler went missing, and tonight there is no active search that we're aware of right now, but investigators are still working to find Quinton Simons.
Earlier today, more than 75 officers, including the FBI, joined the search near his home in West Chatham County. Our team has been at the home where he was last seen speaking with family members and neighbors. The family told us the boy's mother and her boyfriend were released after hours of questioning by police.
The Chatham County Police cannot comment on who may have.
Okay, so they have been interrogating mom and boyfriend. So Leilani and Daniel have been interrogated by the police. They got to go back home, though. Let me show you, because it was on Twitter. Our good old friend Twitter says right here. Oh, that's the one where he says doesn't add up. Where did it go? I guess they thought they were going to get arrested. I don't know. Brett Buffington again says, we just learned from neighbors that Quentin's mother and her boyfriend were allowed to come home early this morning and surprised Quentin's grandparents when they walked inside after our interview this morning. Do you know anything about this, Jaden? So they get done interrogating them, and those two just sit back in the house as if nothing's going on?
I don't know anything about that, but it does sound like them.
Okay.
It does. It does sound like something she would do. And also, I wanted to add that I saw somebody say that I knew that they were giving the baby NyQuil, and I didn't say anything. Well, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of drama going on. I knew a lot of things, and I feel bad for a lot of things I didn't say or speak up on what's going on about. But I wasn't the only one there witnessing it, and there was other people speaking up, not me.
But you know that it got reported.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And you're telling us right now, and you know it got reported.
Yes.
Okay. Hang on. All right. And I did hear at the beginning of this, they said there's no active search going on right now. Well, there's not an active search because they don't believe he wandered off. So we can take that off the table if they're not actively searching right now. Whew. All right. So, and they're back home. They're back at Billy's house.
Have been interviewed, but tell us they are still treating this as a missing child case, and instead of a broad search, are now focusing their efforts on targeted areas. WSAV's Brian Gallagher has been gathering details all evening and has an update on Quinton's mother and her boyfriend tonight. Brian?
Yeah, that's right, Ben. For all of yesterday and most of today, the whereabouts of Quinton's mother and her boyfriend have been in question. Well, tonight we're learning that the neighbors witnessed the mother and her boyfriend at their house all throughout the day. Now, neighbors claim that the two finished being interrogated by law enforcement very early this morning. And then later that morning, neighbors say grandparents came by. Now, with Quinton missing for nearly 48 hours, tensions were running high in the family. And that's when things started to get heated. Neighbors say they heard several arguments all throughout the day. I was on scene a little after 6 p.m. tonight, where I heard another scuffle break out from across the street. A little after 6.
I'm trying to make out what they're saying. Can anyone make out what they're arguing about? I've got on the closed captions too.
Six p.m. tonight, where I heard another scuffle break out from across the street.
It sounds like two women fighting.
Yeah, it was her grandma and her. I mean, her mom and her.
Her mom and her. Okay, so it's her and her mom fighting. Okay, all right. Well, I can't really blame grandma for having a lot to yell about. How well do you know her mom?
I don't know her mom at all. I have my friends know her mom better than me. We weren't really close like that. We hung out a couple of times, just us together. But when we hung out, it was mostly just us and our friends. I don't really know much about her. All I know is she shows her crazy side to anybody.
Norma said, she said, my kid is gone. Leave me alone. Uh-oh. Someone said they heard give it up. Let's listen again.
The day I was on scene a little after 6 p.m. tonight, where I heard another scuffle break out from across the street.
Yeah, I just heard her say, my kid is gone. Yeah, I could make it out that time. Yeah, then she says, leave me alone. You're muted, Jaden.
Oh, I was gonna say that. Honestly, it could be a possibility that she really didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
She had no part of it. It really could have been the boyfriend because that kid is not the boyfriend's. And if something happened to that kid while it was under it happened to Quenton under the boyfriend's supervision, then um, the 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 type of people she dates, he'd probably be like, "That's not my kid. I don't know what to do. I'm not going down for this. So I'm gonna just say he's missing and then do something with him."
Well, and the thing is she needs to cooperate with the police and tell them exactly what happened. She needs to tell them exactly why they told the babysitter they didn't need a babysitter that day. Well, we know they don't work, but why they told her not to be there. And what he said when he said he couldn't find Quenton.
I want to know why the news hasn't interviewed her.
She's not talking to anybody except yelling at her mom in the backyard.
Exactly. Like, and it's the news. I bet if the news did, I don't even know if the news asked her, but if they did, she'd probably decline because she don't want everybody picking into her story, and if she's going to explain it, it's just going to come out. But she is a pathological liar. She might know something, she might not. That all I can say is, I just hope for the best.
Would she cover for him? I mean, she doesn't seem to have a lot of loyalty to her boyfriends, fathers of her children. I mean, she obviously knows the heat's on. Would she cover for him?
It's dysfunctional. She does have a lot of loyalty and love for her boyfriends. It's really dysfunctional. She's really like gets really crazy about them. So I mean, most likely.
So what leads to the breakups if she's so crazy about them?
Because she's crazy and beats on them. I mean, she makes stories up. She lies to them. She'll go. I mean, she's a bit of a bigamist, to be honest with you. That too.
What is that? What do you mean bigamist? I mean, I know what the word means, but what do you mean in context with her?
I'm trying to think of give an example. I'm trying to think of this. Trying to think of this story.
Still have more than one boyfriend at once?
Yeah, that's the one thing. And then still, like I said, it's dysfunctional. So she'll still sit there with her boyfriend, that boyfriend knowing she's fucking with other people, and still sit there and try to manipulate that boyfriend to still be with her. She's nuts.
So were you okay? So when you were babysitting for her, what was she doing? Was she just like running around, or was she working, or what was going on? And where were you babysitting for her at? Was she living with her mom at the time?
No, she had that trailer that they searched. I would babysit him there sometimes. I'd babysit him there for about like 4 or 5 times, and then sometimes at her ex-boyfriend's house, my friend. And she usually, sometimes she'd be around, or sometimes she'd actually just be down the street around the corner at somebody else's house, and she don't want to bring the baby with her, or a bunch of different things. One time,
Go ahead.
go ahead. No, it's okay. Go ahead.
No, I'm just like, she never leaves the block. I mean, she lives in the trailer, then she's living in the house. She goes to see people around the corner. I mean, my God, she's 22 years old, right?
Yep. That is correct.
You know, and the only ambition she has is drugs and on her back. Wow. But you think that she would actually stay closed-mouthed, even with an interrogation? Because when those detectives come after people, phew, boy, it's a different story. Like she would cover for Daniel.
Mm-hmm. She'll see her story through. I'll tell you that one. Even I know how them detectives, they press you. They really press you hard, and how she got through that interview, and then they classified her as a victim. Yeah, I'm not sure how she did that. All I can say is she is a good liar.
That's what I'm saying too, and I think they're doing that for her. I don't want to say for her benefit, but so that she's more relaxed and she'll slip up.
Yeah.
Because when the police said at this point they are victims too, and I'm like, what? Because I'm seeing flags all over the place. What's the biggest red flag for you and everybody in chat?
The laziness of her neglectfulness. It's just the biggest. She wears it on her sleeve. You can see it from a mile away.
Well, I mean, that was already addressed, I'm assuming, because she doesn't have custody of any of her kids.
And the fact of why she's not home at 5 a.m. in the morning, where she's at.
Well, I was thinking about that myself.
She ain't got nowhere to be.
Mm-mm.
Well, I don't know, but I wouldn't expect her to have nowhere to be. It's been, from my point of view, I can tell you that it's been 1.5 years, whatever, and it doesn't seem like a lot's changed for her. Me and a bunch of my friends, we done grown up. She seems like she still got the same stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. Well, here, I'm going to play this video. A lot of people haven't seen it. I didn't realize that. It's also on the channel. Oh, hang on. Sluggish Sleuth said, Grandpa said in an interview, she said bio dad picked him up. So that's like Maggie Boswell saying that the biological father had Evelyn.
Yeah, they ruled that out.
Yeah, but they didn't rule out why she lied. She knew that nobody picked Quenton up. So what is she lying about? If he just got out of the house, which is awful. You don't want a 20-month-old baby, a little, not even 2 years old, running around the neighborhood, could get hit by a car, could fall in a culvert. You don't want that. But she said that. Wow.
Yeah, I saw that too on Facebook.
So she can't obviously tell the police that. So what is her story? Do you happen to know what her story is? Because I've heard a bunch.
Her story, like, what you mean?
Well, what story is she sticking to as of October 7th? Do we know what it is today of what happened to Quenton? Because all they have said, well, they said he has on a Sesame Street t-shirt. We don't even know if we can believe that. Like, what is she saying happened?
It started at 9 a.m. when they called the cops. I know that. But before they called, was it before they called the cops? I don't know either. Was it before they called the cops? They were texting the babysitter too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She asked.
So before they even called the cops, yeah, that's crazy. Before they even called the cops, why were they texting the babysitter first?
Yeah.
Well, she has her own transportation. She has a way of getting around. So if she's waited that long, maybe something happened throughout the night.
Well, they'll have to track her cell phone and or his to see if they left the home at any time. Mm-hmm. Do you know how long? Of course, you wouldn't know, but unless you read it or something somewhere, how long Grandma and Grandpa had been out of town? Because she's there basically unsupervised. Yes, they're her own kids, but she was not to have those kids at all.
Mm-hmm. Average about, they probably go out of town for about 2 weeks at a time, maybe a week.
Because from my understanding is Grandma was in Illinois working. I mean, you can't fret Grandma for working, and she hires a babysitter to keep an eye on them. But hello, Kelly, how are you?
And that area that it happened in is very desolate. It's very spread out. It's a really it's like acres of land, farmland over there. There's the railroad train tracks right next to it. I think there's a station over there, railroad station over there. It's a very desolate area.
Mm-hmm. Very curious as if she left the house, because she didn't call to report Quenton missing till after 9 a.m. I think she was setting up something for herself. Called the babysitter. Have you seen Quenton? Of course, the babysitter's going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? You told me not to show up. Of course, I haven't seen him. Then she calls the authorities. I'm wondering if she said anything to anybody else. If she went outside, if she was seen outside looking for him, if she went to any of the neighbors' homes. Because I've been looking at all this stuff and nobody has seen her outside the house looking for him. That doesn't happen.
Does anybody know when she got home?
From being interrogated?
Yeah.
They said yesterday morning. They had her there all night.
Because the person who is one of my friends who's still in close contact with her. See, I was on Facebook Messenger this morning, and I saw that he was active, and I called him, and it didn't go through. And for some reason, Messenger tells you when you're on a call with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So it told me he was on a call with somebody else, and I noticed he read my message with me calling him, and he left me on red. And so I called him. I didn't call him. I texted him, so he called me immediately. He's like, I just woke up, but I noticed that he was active all night. And he's the one that's been in contact with Leilani recently. So he could know something.
Who is this guy?
He's a friend. I think they used to, really low key, I think they used to mess around. He started coming around 3 or 4 months after we started hanging out with her. And then when she broke up with my friend, she went over there a bunch and started messing with him, I mean. And that was for a good while, to be honest with you. And they've been talking ever since. I mean, she don't talk to really nobody else but him.
Does current boyfriend know that she's talking to someone she used to mess around with?
That's what my friend was talking about too. That he thinks that they are messing around. And I don't think boyfriend does know. I think the dude who I called this morning on Messenger, he might be side piece.
Because her cheating on boyfriend could have caused some contention in the house, don't you think?
Of course.
Wow. All right, let's listen to a little bit of this, and then I've got some other questions if you can answer them. You have been a huge help, by the way.
No, of course. I mean, I had to get involved somehow. It's close. It's not that close to me, but I know her. I've known her for long enough to know how she is.
Well, and it's too important. I mean, little Quenton he didn't get in the car and drive away. And they've been looking for him for 2 days. And when I heard there's no active search right now, they're taking a different avenue. And they're only doing some targeted searches. Well, come on.
Exactly.
Good. Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Chief Jeff Alley with Chatham County Police Department, and we wanted to provide everyone with an update to the extent that we can on the missing Quinton Simons. We have yet to locate little Quenton. We continue to investigate this incident. We've got some assistance from the FBI. We got numerous interviews to conduct today, as well as downloading phones and things of that nature to try to bring this case to a conclusion. It still remains a missing child investigation at this point until we reach a different conclusion based on any evidence that we may find or any updates or developments that we may occur here today. Just to kind of recap what we have done, as you know, we had aviation out here yesterday all day or half of the day, providing air support. We had mounted patrol from Savannah Police Department, which we sincerely appreciate. We had SEMA and the volunteers doing a grid search, an area search, looking for little Quenton. And as of this morning, we still have yet to locate him. So a lot of work to do. Our investigators are working extremely hard. They were here till 2 o'clock in the morning this morning, and then came back in at 8 o'clock for a briefing and are out here this morning continuing to investigate. So that is unfortunately all the update, substantive update that we have here this morning. I'd be happy to answer a few questions that you may have, and we'll go from there. So.
Chief, is foul play suspected at all in this disappearance?
As of this time, we have not had any evidence to lead us to believe foul play, but everything's on the table, honestly. So we're looking at this from many different angles. We're getting all the technology that we can, looking for cameras that were in the area, things of that nature. So, but as of this interview, we don't have anything of substance that would lead us to believe that. It's still a missing child investigation.
Okay, so he actually, I'm going to give him more credit. I didn't give him enough credit when I opened the show. He said, we don't have anything of substance. Well, this is very, 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 very early in the investigation. They don't even have back the cellular data yet, so they don't know if they even left the house. They can't verify the BS they have been fed yet because they don't have the information back yet. And it's safe to say, Leilani, like Jaden said, she's going to ride this wave to the end. She's not going to cave. She's going to stick to her story. So the way he said it, nothing of substance yet. And no, I'm not wishing anything worse on Quenton. I'm not. There's too many red flags for me. Too many red flags.
I don't know. It took 3 hours to report to the police. I haven't gotten into that level of detail when the mother noticed the child was missing. The only information that I have is that the boyfriend woke up, saw the child at 6 a.m. The mother woke up at some other time later, and then reported the child missing at 9:39. I believe the call came into 9.
Okay, question. He notices, now this is boyfriend Daniel. He notices around 6 a.m. that morning, Quenton's missing. That would have been a good day to not let Leilani sleep in, or let the bitch sleep in and call 911 yourself. What do you think?
I thought Leilani wasn't even home. That's what it was, just the boy. I'm so confused now.
He was there.
I thought it was just the boyfriend and the kids and the brother and the stepsister. No, they was making it out to be Leilani wasn't home.
Okay, so let's say that she wasn't home. My understanding was she was, but she was asleep.
Yeah.
That's the story we're being told. That he woke up, realized Quenton wasn't there, but didn't bother Sleeping Beauty with it. So when she arises to get her coffee and oatmeal, he hit her with the news he couldn't find Quenton. I don't buy that for a second. He knows how to use a phone. He should have called the police right then.
Maybe he was the one who texted the babysitter.
Mm-hmm. I have a feeling she was awake the entire time. I have a feeling they were up all damn night.
Yep, that too. They were coked out.
Mm-hmm. So she calls at 9:39 a.m. Let's just listen to that again so we have, well, what little bitty facts we know as of right now.
Don't know. It took 3 hours to report to the police. I haven't gotten into that level of detail when the mother noticed the child was missing. The only information that I have is that the boyfriend woke up, saw the child at 6 a.m. The mother woke up at some other time later, and then reported the child missing at 9:39. I believe the call came into 9.
Okay, see, I was totally wrong. He didn't notice that Quenton was missing that morning. He's the last person to see Quenton, which is, we got a problem there. So forget what I said. I totally heard, I was misinformed. Okay, so he saw, this is supposedly Daniel saw Quenton at around 6 a.m. that morning. So I don't know what he did. Supposedly he left. I remember hearing that, but remember, this is just a rumor. Okay, so then she calls at 9:39. Am I getting all of this right? Because it's very convoluted. So boyfriend wakes up, realizes Quenton is missing. No, does not. No. He sees Quenton. Geez, a lot of info. He wakes up, sees Quenton. I don't know if he leaves. I've heard he left and came back. I don't know. But she realizes at some point that Quenton is missing. She gets a hold of the babysitter, even though the babysitter had been told at like 5:30 that morning not to show up. She gets a hold of her around 9 o'clock, according to the babysitter, asks her if she's seen Quenton. Of course, she says no. She calls at 9:39 a.m. I'm going to have to write all that down.
911. So the time difference and whatnot, I'm not privy to that level of detail at this second.
From what I understand, much of the morning, like typically when it did start getting light out, police weren't out there. Only recently now police are. So why we, in the precious hours of daylight morning to have police out there?
Please restate your question. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
What I understood from a reporter on scene, or from our reporters, there was much of daylight time this morning where police weren't out there. Kind of a little bit. Can you kind of explain?
This morning?
Yeah.
So, well, we had conducted our area grid search yesterday. So we didn't believe that we had exhausted that geographic area where we felt perhaps if he wandered away that he would be in that area. So we wanted to regroup this morning. We were out till 2 o'clock in the morning. Now we're narrowing it down to other small geographic areas, seeing if that would yield, finding Quenton. So we just felt that we had exhausted all of our geographic coverage area with what we did yesterday with the aviation, with the mounted patrol, with our drone, and we didn't feel that would yield anything to be back at that exact location this morning.
How are the parents doing at this point from your perspective?
Well, I haven't talked to them personally. Obviously, they have been working with our detectives. I can only assume that they're, at this point, they're victims. They are dealing with the loss of a child. They're worrying and wondering where he may be at. And so, as any of us, if we were in that position, I would be terrified. Having 6 children of my own, if one of my children were missing, I'd be a mess, quite frankly.
And then follow that. Does Quenton have any siblings? Are there any other brothers or sisters?
I believe there is an older sibling, maybe a year older or so. I think it's a boy, but I'm not 100% sure.
So the FBI was there yesterday. So is that customary, or were there certain aspects of the case that they thought it was
They will continue to help with the investigation. In this type, because it's a missing child, but there's also a potential it could have been abducted. Obviously, that falls within their wheelhouse. They're a great organization to work with. They have an enormous amount of resources that necessarily local law enforcement doesn't have. And their willingness to step in, provide additional manpower, as well as the resources that they have, it is welcomed beyond belief. So, but because it's a missing and could be an abducted child, that's where it falls within their wheelhouse.
Do you believe Quenton to still be alive?
I hope he's still alive. We don't know. We don't have any information to believe he's not. But statistically, we know, how these cases may end up. So we're going to hold out hope that he's still alive, that we can find him and bring him home safe to his parents. But we'll continue to look at all angles and exhaust all investigative avenues.
What would be indicators that would push an abduction? Like what would be sort of the cases or the evidence you would need for to go into an abduction?
Well, if we receive some tip from the community that was substantive, that we could verify, that would lead us to that conclusion. If there was any type of video evidence or cell phone evidence that would lead us to believe in that that it would be that. So that would is what that would be. And let me say, I'm sorry I didn't mention, if anyone has information on Quinton Simons' disappearance, they can get on Chatham County Police Department crime tips on our website and put that information in there. They can also call Crime Stoppers at 912-234-2020 with any information that they may have.
Are you open to any tips?
I'm not aware of any at this point.
It's my understanding that his father lives north of here and is not in town and is all sort of happening here now with the rest of the family.
I'm not sure if he is here now. It is my understanding that he did live north of here and he was not here during the time of his disappearance. We did obtain a search warrant for the home. We're also obtaining other search warrants as of today, and we'll continue to execute those once we're able to secure those. I do not.
What kind of plan for today?
Well, what I want to do is let the investigators do their work today, obtain those search warrants, execute those in a timely manner. Probably reassess sometime later today and see where we may need to pivot this investigation. If anything, any information comes out today that yields a different result, leads us in a different direction. But we'll regroup later on today. I want to give my investigators space to go on and do their job. They don't need me in their face every 5 seconds asking them 100 questions. They're very capable, along with the FBI, and we're going to work diligently till we come to a conclusion.
Have you talked to the mother?
I have not, ma'am. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, so he's getting out of there. He's like, okay, thank you, appreciate it. You notice that the reporters keep asking him over and over about the mom more than the boyfriend. He answered a couple of times. No, I have not talked to the mom. I have not. I have investigators and all that stuff. Hello, lip lock. Why didn't they want why did they turn the babysitter away from helping them search? Anybody want to take a guess at that?
Maybe it was probably still in the house. What? No, because that was after the police showed up.
This is just awful. All right, so boyfriend says he sees Quenton in the pack and play or in the crib at 6 a.m. that morning. I don't know where that other story came from. Just forget it, erase it from your memory. Mom calls 911 at 9:39 a.m. This is according to law enforcement. So they would know when they got the call. We have not heard when she realized Quenton was missing. Has anybody heard when she realized Quenton was missing or when boyfriend realized Quenton was missing? I've heard 2 different stories about the whereabouts of boyfriend after he saw Quenton in the crib. I've heard that he left because people asked where he went, and I've heard that he went back to bed. It can't be both. Cat's eye. Who is they? Leilani and Daniel, mom of Quenton and boyfriend of Leilani. But before all of this goes on, they tell the babysitter they don't need her. They're not the ones that pay the babysitter. Grandma pays the babysitter and grandma's out of town. For some reason, they did not want babysitter there. These don't seem like the type of people that just wanted a quiet day and have the family unit together. So they tell babysitter not to show up. Then they call babysitter or text babysitter if she's seen Quenton. They haven't released the 911 call yet. Nope. And I'm going to assume that she called the non-emergency number because I know Plunder was looking and she couldn't find the dispatch of the 911 call that one came in, but I don't know how it works there. You still with me, Jaden?
Yeah, I'm still here. I was gonna say that She most likely texted the babysitter again because they were on drugs and probably forgot the
Hmm.
babysitter not to come. It's just, the drugs do that to you.
So for those of you that are local, is this story I'm hearing true that you have actually seen like police presence out at the dump? Because just because someone says it in a comment doesn't mean it's really happening. It could have been.
I've seen it too on Facebook. They said they were searching the landfills. I haven't seen law enforcement though around there.
Okay.
I haven't been over there. I only know of one dump around here, and I haven't been over there, so I don't know.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Tracy. This is terrible. This is just terrible. And I'm telling you what, I'm so sick of these people. I'm so sick of these parents, but you know what? They might have nothing to do with it except for extreme negligence, which they are hands down guilty of that. But there's a lot not adding up here, Jaden. Don't you agree?
Oh yeah, of course. There's a lot. It's just don't make sense.
Nope.
Doesn't make any sense to me. And like I said, though, I really don't think they would have hurt Quenton, but definitely would have done something if something happened.
But you don't think that she would hurt Quenton, but if something happened to him, she would cover it up.
Exactly.
Because she was interrogated. That can't be a nice feeling. It was an overnight interrogation at that. And she comes rolling in the house, surprises grandma and grandpa, and then her and grandma are fighting in the backyard not long ago. They're probably still out there fighting.
To her, it was probably the ego thing. Waltzing in there like, oh, look at me. I'm not arrested. How you think of me now? I didn't go to jail. I'm here standing right in front of your face. So you really think I did something with my own kid?
Mm-hmm.
It's probably an ego thing to her.
I'm going to listen to the babysitter's interview again real quick, okay? I'm not going to play the whole thing. I just want to hear the babysitter.
Neighbors are shocked by the news and wonder what could have happened to little Quenton.
My heart is broken. I'm not his mother, I'm not his family, but I love him very much. And I just don't know what could happen. The police did a really good job of looking, and where does a 1-year-old go? They've covered a lot of ground.
Again, we will continue to update you with the latest developments online and.
I like that reporter, by the way. None of this is good. Kelly said, crime lines, I'm sick of it too. I see so many of these cases. It just makes me sick. Not saying this is the case here, but many times the boyfriend hurts, kills the kid, and mom covers it up. Yeah.
They could have been sleeping in. Maybe baby was fussing. That too.
Yeah. There's a lot of woulda, shoulda, couldas. I mean, we don't know. I do know that in these cases that when it all comes to fruition, it's awful.
I'm just worried about finding that kid.
Yeah.
Used to babysit the older one all the time, and they're sweet kids. She's a negligent mom, but her kids are so sweet. They're so amazing.
When was the last time you spoke with Leilani?
Like I said, about 1.5 years ago, when she only had her one kid.
Okay. Now, when you told her you're not going to babysit for Zane anymore, the whole, you just keep, you don't come back, you're not paying me, there's no baby wipes here, that whole thing. I mean, how did you guys part ways? Was she mad at you? She was mad.
No, we didn't. She was mad at me, but we didn't part ways. Kind of how it worked over there is drama happened. We all just continued hanging out, but not too long after that, parting ways did end up happening. It was kind of after that she busted into ex-boyfriend's house and started beating on him. A little bit after that, she just kind of stopped coming around and just faded away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and she has used drugs around her kids before. In her truck, she has rolled up a blunt in there and smoked it while her kid was in the truck and stuff like that. So, and yeah, she's not too a stranger to using drugs around her kids either. So that's another thing. That's a really big thing to consider as well. I actually spoke to a detective today about everything about it, and what kind of makes me think is they probably already have an answer that's just not gone public, because the way the detective spoke to me, it's kind of like he already had all the answers he needed, and that my information was helpful, because I was giving some pretty good information, but he just didn't seem like it was helpful enough to him. Like he already kind of knew what was going on, and they were just waiting to piece it all together.
So what did the detective exactly say to you, if you can tell us?
So not much. He just wanted to know. I was talking more so about the friend that I called on Messenger, because he was seeming fishy, and somebody else, one of the other friends, the Leilani's old best friend, thinks he knows something, and so I just took, I just stepped up, was the bigger man, so I called the cops, called 911. They sent the officer over here, and they just wanted to know, like, what did the personal messenger I called, what did he say to me, like what was going on. The detective, he didn't say much. Like I said, he just wanted to know what all was said and what I knew. And after I told him that, he wasn't like, oh, okay, can you? He didn't sit on the phone with me for like 45 minutes, like interested in what I'm saying. It's like it just seemed like he already had a good bit of information he needed. I even told him about the drugs, and I texted him like after the fact, because he gave me his phone number. So I texted him because I forgot to tell him about the drugs, and that child could have been involved in sex trafficking because of the drug dealers she does know. That's what my friend on Messenger was saying too, speculating stuff like that. And then all he said was, "Thank you, appreciate it."
Did he say, well, I mean, he's not going to tell you what they're doing or anything like that, but you're getting the impression that they pretty much already know what's going on.
That's the impression I made of it, because he wasn't too intrigued. He just wasn't intrigued.
Well, then they probably have it pretty sized up.
Yeah, that's what I was definitely thinking. Like, they probably already know she's on drugs. They probably already know all of that.
I doubt. I mean, it's not his first rodeo. You're not going to shock a detective with,
Yeah.
different fathers and drugs and stuff like that. But, the fact that he wasn't, chomping at the bit, I
Exactly.
agree. They've got it. They've got it.
The information, if he wanted more, if the information I was giving him was crucial, he would have sat there with me and kept talking to me about it. But it was like a 7-8 minute phone call just about the person I spoke with and where he lives and what's his name and what's the best friend's name, where does she live, do you have a number for her, where can I contact her, where can I contact him, just stuff like that.
Why did the grandmother leave these children with these dysfunctional parents? That's what a lot of people are wondering. I guess, she just didn't think that if she's, gone, that they would do something. I don't know. I guarantee she's kicking her own tail right now. I guarantee. And if those two are not out of that house pretty soon, I have a feeling then the state may come in and remove the rest of the kids. It's going to be, you're going to have to choose between Leilani and the boyfriend or the kids, because there's other siblings that live there, right? Right?
Yes, and it's like a custody is more of a technical thing. Like, she can have custody, but Leilani still takes care of her kids, type thing.
And that's very common. CPS, DHS, whatever you want to call it, will remove the kids and give them to the grandparents, and the grandparents are still like, look, you take care of them, but I'll make sure, when the state comes by or whatever, I'm here, because they don't want their grandkids in foster care. It's not the way to do it. It's not the way to do it, though. Grandma could be in trouble. She could, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how they do things there, but she could wind up being in trouble because there might have been an order that she can't have Leilani around the kids. I mean, if she lost custody, she lost custody. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, Grandma has her vices too.
I wonder how many times, because when did this custody go down? Because she had another baby in July. Leilani did. So she has a baby in July. We're just now in October. That's a tiny little baby. When did she lose custody? Did she lose custody of that baby before she even had the baby?
Most likely.
Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe the custody could have been going on with her first child.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I told you, how Mama always used to have that child. Grandma always used to have that child, like for 3 weeks at a time. Then Leilani would have the kid for like 2 weeks. So it could have been going on since then, or it could have been going on since after I knew. Because when I knew her, there was no talk of anything like that. But it might have happened in the year and a half I didn't speak to her.
Okay, Slim said, I bet custody was granted, then eviction took place. And then this has been going around about the child support. Do you know anything about the child support?
Yeah, that she just probably wasn't giving her grandma, her mama a dime. And grandma was tired of it.
Well, I don't blame her. But it says a civil action. It doesn't look like it's through the it says in the Superior Court of Chatham County, state of Georgia, Georgia Department of Human Services, Quinton Simon and Zane Wharton versus Leilani Simon. The above and foregoing action having come before the court on the 21st day of September 2022. See, we have a lot of stuff that went on all at once. She loses custody of the kids. She's supposed to be paying child support. She gets evicted. She's got a lot of strikes against her. Leilani does.
And
go ahead.
Some people want to know what the grandma's problem was. Nothing too much. She just likes to drink a lot. That's about it, really. And she just has her own little issues, personality issues. That's just how it is. People are.
Defendant shall notify the 4D agency, the Georgia Department of Human Services, within 7 days of any change of address. Well, that's not tough because she can't get her out of the house. Defendant is notified that DCSS will collect support of any arrears or fees. I'm looking for the amount. I don't see an amount on here she was supposed to be paying in child support. The order is subject to the... Anybody know the amount she was supposed to be paying Grandma? Defendant shall pay any applicable family support registry fee for each payment pursuant. Well, she was supposed to be paying child support. Grandma evicted her. Right there, Brett Buffington. He found that. Court documents uncovered. Now, think about that. Grandma can't just kick her out. She can't get rid of her. She can't get Leilani and the boyfriend out. Namely, Leilani. That she has to go through the eviction process, which sometimes that could take 6 months to a year. So she's still sitting there at the house. Court documents uncovered by the News 3 investigative unit. Seems like the reporters were after Leilani from the beginning. Show that last month, Leilani Simon, Quenton's mom, told police she was on probation. Leilani, her boyfriend, and kids were served with an eviction notice. Her mother said no one was living in peace. Jody. Kelly, we don't really know that Leilani knows who Quenton's father is. Do we know for a fact who Quenton's father is, Jaden, or has it just been kind of a guess this whole time?
For a fact, it's either these two people. For a fact, one of them, I don't. It's not his real name. He goes by like Bubba. I don't know. That's what they call him, Bubba.
So Bubba could be Quenton's dad, and then there's another guy.
Yeah, and I really think that I just don't see how that would work out. Like, but I wish I could show pictures because, the person who I'm talking about, he has a kid that looks just like Quenton. His name's Angel, and he looks just like Quenton. It is crazy, but
Can you email me, Jaden? Hey, Jaden. Jaden cut out again. That's all right.
Yeah, I can email you. That's fine. I was looking. We go find some pictures.
Let me give you my email.
All right.
I'll put it in the chat. We have someone in here from Savannah as well. If you could email me, that would be magnificent. Or anybody that wants to email, you can just say hi. Doesn't matter. Yes, Gerald. This is the 20-month-old out of Georgia we're talking about. I saw you in the last show, Gerald. You had great comments. I saw Kelly in the last show. Great comments. I saw a bunch of you. I kept getting thrown off in the last show because that lady kept calling me Brittany. Where did Jaden go? Do you see the email, Savannah? Savannah, Georgia? I'm going to see if I can hear the rest of this fight. Hang on.
Heard another scuffle break out from across the street.
Okay, that time I heard a guy too. That time I heard a guy too. Hang on, someone said I'm mispronouncing the name of the county. I think. Let me see. Hang on. Heard a man say, "You guys stop." I heard that too. So it's CHATHAM County. All right. Every case I mispronounce the county's name. Yeah, I think it's grandma fighting with them, but I heard a guy yelling, "You guys stop."
Trying to find that email. I have some pictures for you of the babies.
Okay.
Oh, I found it.
Yeah, Kelly, it's in Savannah.
Is it the one that's CLL 72020?
Yes, that's mine.
Okay, I'm gonna send this to you.
It sounds like an older man. I don't see the boyfriend coming out telling people to stop. That's just me, though. Let's listen to it again. Goodness. They're not happy. I don't blame them. Grandpa said Leilani's brother was there, so we have info on him being there. Petunia says she heard, how many times have you sat there and told me my kid is gone? What?
I sent you the email now. I think I got the right email, pretty sure.
I'm about to find out. Hang on.
I sent you a picture of the a daughter and a son, so it's gonna be a boy and a girl. They both look like Quenton.
It's CLL. There it is. Okay. So who is this guy? Oh, that's Quenton. Who's
That's not Quenton. You said it was Quenton, but it's not Quenton. I thought that the Quenton, when I first saw that Quenton was missing, I thought it was that child right there.
Who is this person with this child?
That's that mama for those children.
Oh, okay.
The baby daddy would be the one, but the baby daddy's not in any of those pictures. That could be Quentin's siblings, half siblings. Could be, possibly.
Okay, I'm going to look more into that. I don't want to put those pictures up because I don't know who these people are, and they may or may not be in, all of this. All right, I'm going to put this on again, and I'm going to slow it down, okay?
Across the street.
Was that better, guys? Slow down. Is that better, guys? Slow down. Hello, Marco. I don't know that Jaden would know because he hasn't had any contact with Leilani in like a year and a half. I heard, leave me alone. Sorry, my kid is gone. Stardust said it was better. Grandma wants her baby back. Jody H. heard, my kid is gone, leave me alone. Yeah, I heard someone say stop it. I heard a man's voice say stop it. This is a mess and a half, and I just really, really hope that little Quenton is found. It does not, I'm not trying to be the Grim Reaper here. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good, guys, at all. Not trying to upset anybody. Trigger warning. It doesn't look good for little Quenton at all. And it's not looking very good for Leilani and Daniel either. It's just not. There's a lot of red flags going that way. There's a lot of red flags going that way. Well, I'm going to start shutting this down. I think we went through everything that we planned to go through. We got to meet Jaden. That was an unexpected surprise. You going to hang out with us, Jaden, and come back the next time we talk?
Yeah, if I can come around to it.
What?
I was just trying to find some people posting about it on YouTube, and I noticed you were doing a live, so I jumped in. See if I can help out.
Well, you helped out immensely. You have no idea.
Thank you.
Let's everyone tell Jaden thank you and encourage him to come back. Everyone's saying thank you, Jaden. Thank you, Jaden. Thank you, Jaden.
Yeah, I see that. Anyway, I can help.
All right, take care. I've got your email now, so I've got a couple of questions, so I'll email them to you when I get a second. Is that okay?
That's completely fine. I'll answer any question you give me.
And thank you for calling the detective and being, doing what you can to help bring little Quenton home.
Yes, ma'am. I will come back in the live some other time.
All right. We can't wait to talk to you again. Thanks, Jaden.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And thanks to all of you, because this is horrific. It's heartbreaking, and it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. Doesn't look good. Leilani can say whatever she wants to say. It's not a good look. It's just not a good look. So it looks to me like the detectives are on it, particularly from the conversation that Jaden had with one detective where he said he seems like they already know which way they're going. That's how he took it anyway. But we're going to keep following this case, guys. Any updates, anything like that, I will put on the community tab. And we will definitely have another show, hopefully as soon as possible, because as soon as possible, well, I get to hang out with all of you. And that also means there's an update on little Quenton. So in the meantime, you guys are the best. You are the best community and the best chat on YouTube, hands down. And don't forget to come by and say hi to me in Discord or over in the Facebook group. So if I don't see you in between, then I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I'll see you back here Monday morning. Have a very, very nice weekend. Bye-bye, everybody.